All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. Today we'll be reacting to a video which has Bertrand Russell in it. It's about world government, economic inequality, and overpopulation. Apparently. Hi, Arun. How are you?
Hey, what's up?
So can
Okay.
you tell us a little about Bertrand Russell? Like from the little that
I,
I've heard.
I I realized that only
Mhm.
go on.
He sounds a little South African even. I don't know. He might be, I don't know, British or something, but
No, he's British. He's British for sure. He's British for sure.
okay.
But I just realized I don't know anything about him. Maybe he's a mathematician if I remember correctly.
He is
Philosopher, sure.
British. He
Yeah,
is
he's a
British.
mathematician. Right.
1872. Oh my God. Crazy.
Right.
He
That's
lived
again
all
the
those
Enlightenment
years.
period. I just realized.
Yeah.
At least he was born in it. If not, he was alive. I don't know if he was part of that group. But
But when was the Enlightenment period?
no, it's post Enlightenment. I think
Yeah.
1750 to 1850. Yeah, it's post Enlightenment. Like early 1800s,
Oh,
ending
this
of
is
1700s,
nothing.
I think.
Oh God.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
This is way before
It's
even.
a century later. Century later. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he's maybe at that time the accents were a little different and all. I don't know. It sounded little South African even, but maybe not.
Maybe.
But how did you come across him?
Uh, there's a talk. I'll tell you how I came across him. There's Richard Dawkins. There's a series on I don't know, enemies of logic or something like that. Enemies of reason. And then he does a talk with Indian. I don't know, an Indian, let's call him some sort of celebrity, some famous stalker or something like that, some TV personality, not sure. In that talk, they both start with a commonplace. They both have a big admiration for Bertrand Russell.
Oh,
He was a proponent of the movement against nuclear arms. So he proposed that everyone should simultaneously get rid of their, yeah, that's the one, nuclear disarmament. So the Indian guy actually walked from India all the way to England to meet Bertrand Russell and to spread the word wherever they crossed. So they probably walked through, I guess, China, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, and all those countries, all the way to reach to England.
wait, why did he want to
And
meet again? What did he want to convey?
the movement, they were just spreading the word about the fight against nuclear weapons, that all the countries should get rid of their nuclear weapons simultaneously, or disarmament, like it's mentioned in
Oh,
the video.
okay.
So they had in common. So he was a big admirer of Bertrand Russell, the Indian man, and Richard Dawkins considers him one of his heroes too.
Yeah, I've
So
heard him
that's how I heard
mentioned
of him.
quite a few times for sure.
Yeah.
Richard
And
Dawkins.
that's when I just YouTubed them and then
Nice.
Google YouTube. So let's
So,
see. And yeah, it's interesting to see old videos, what they think and what's relevant. That's what we've been doing in this series. So let's see if we can continue.
yeah.
In fact, just to say one thing, David Graeber was probably the earliest guy, but even we saw him after he died, like a month after he died. So basically, whoever we're watching are dead people so
Oh,
far.
oh, really? Actually,
Just something to point out. Okay. All
this
right.
guy is way older though, 1952. This video is pretty old. The David Graeber one was like some 2008 or 10 or something, no? It was much newer.
2018 maybe also.
Oh, 18,
2015, I
is
don't
it?
know. Maybe 15. Yeah, it might be newer. But yeah.
Right, right. Yeah. So I'll play.
Yeah, that's all.
Lord Russell, what do you think the world needs to reach a happier state?
Well, I think there are three things that are needed if the world is to adapt itself to the Industrial Revolution. The troubles we are suffering now are essentially troubles due to adapting ourselves to a new phase of human life, namely the industrial phase. And I think three things are necessary if people are to live happily in the industrial phase. One of these is world government. The second is an approximate economic equality between different parts of the world. And the third is a nearly stationary population. I'd like to say a little about each of those. As to world government, the world government should be, of course, a federal government, leaving a very great deal of freedom to the individual national governments, and only those things controlled by the world government which are absolutely necessary for the avoidance of war. The most important and the most difficult of these is armed forces. All the important weapons of war will have to be in the hands of the international government and of it alone. When that happens, war will become practically impossible. And if war were impossible, mankind could go ahead. If war is not impossible, every advance in scientific technique means an advance in mass murder and is therefore undesirable. But if once world peace were achieved, it would be just the opposite. That's the first point. Now I come on to the question of approximate economic equality. As things stand at present, Western Europe, and still more the United States of America, have a high standard of life. On the whole, the great majority of mankind live fairly comfortably from a material point of view. Asia, on the other hand, lives in very, very great poverty. So does most of Africa. And the moment people are sufficiently educated to be aware of these facts, the inevitable result is a great development of envy in the poorer parts of the world. That envy is a cause of unrest and inevitably makes world peace precarious. There's only one way of dealing with it, which is to produce approximate economic equality, which of course is a long story, but it can be done. The third point about population is very vital indeed. The food supply of the world tends at present to diminish through the denudation of the soil. It tends, of course, also to increase through various technical advances. But those two about balance, so that on the whole, the food produce of the world does not increase appreciably. Now that means that unless everybody is to be very poor, especially if you have economic equality, unless everybody is to be very poor, there must be not more people to be fed, not many more than there are now. And therefore you've got to get approximate equality of population and approximately stationary population. Otherwise, those parts of the world where the population increases fast, we want to go to war with those where it increases slowly.
That brings us precisely to the problem of Asia and what part Asia will play in the immediate future.
Well, Asia, first of all, has risen to the point of education, some Asians have, where it is not prepared any longer to be subservient to the white man. It hasn't noticed that Russians are white. If it had, it would take a different line. But it seems to think that Russians are yellow or black or some other color. And I think our propaganda ought to be mainly devoted to saying only Russians also are white. I believe that would be the effective propaganda to use in Asia. But I pass that point by. Asia clearly is going to claim equality with the white man. And it's perfectly futile, absolutely futile, for the white man to resist that claim. It will infallibly win, infallibly. And we ought, therefore, to concede it graciously at once before we're driven to it, to concede complete equality to Asia. But if Asia is not to overwhelm the rest of the world with a vast flood of population and poverty, Asia must live up to its responsibilities and must learn the sort of things we have learned in the West, which is how to maintain a roughly stationary population. And if they can't learn that, which I fully believe they can learn, and learn quickly, much more quickly than most people think, if they can't learn that, they will not have won their claim to equality.
Wow. Okay. I mean, like, kind of relevant to what we've been researching on the sidelines too, right? About
For
population.
sure, for sure, sure. Extremely relevant.
Oh God, crazy. I mean,
Uh,
like, I would like say that it's we have. I think even maybe it might have been a little slow. That it might be slow that the population control is happening, but it is happening though. I think
So I'll tell you
because
this: if I had to summarize everything, the first thought that came into mind after listening each of his points, he divided into three parts, right? Until the last discussion in Asia, but
hmm
yeah, they were talking about world government, economy, and equality, and then he was talking about stationary population. Uh,
all related.
uh, all of them, whatever he said, I think is true today. And it's like it's so true that it's almost like he's the one who set the agenda in 1950 for everyone to follow.
Actually,
I, so I wonder if this is an older idea. It might not even be an older idea, but I don't know. It's so because we do have a world government whose primary focus is to keep war.
hmm
You know, it was inevitable, and it did happen after World War II or whatever. And then economic equality is definitely what we're trying to. When it comes to that, I'll just go
I've
over what he said.
hmm hmm
So he talked about uh, basically they're comparing Asia and the West,
Yep,
or the
the
East
white
and the
man and the
West.
Asians and Africa a
Yeah.
little bit, but
So
sure.
poverty, and you're saying how we become envious of them and all that, which is true to some extent. A lot of the arguments are based on like when it comes to environments and all that. But economic equality, he didn't give anything that insightful, but just that we should achieve it and inequality would be a threat,
Yeah.
which understandable. And today's a lot of arguments revolving that
hmm
within countries and within international countries. But yeah, otherwise everything, stationary population, all those things are so relevant. Like I said, population, like it seems like how hard we tried, whether it's India or China, to take the biggest examples. China, obvious reasons, they forced that policy,
One
and
child
India had
policy.
it. India had a two-child policy or whatever. We were like, oh, but we kept for decades. We keep teaching that you shouldn't.
Yeah, no, for me, that's
So
what all that is relevant for sure. Just that this is in 1952 and it's been like some 60, what, 75, 70 years now. So
yeah,
just that, but
and
that's
the,
fine, I guess. I mean, it's still in a
what are
positive
you
only.
talking about? What are you saying? It's exactly that. This has been going on for 30 years. It's not just, it's probably since independence we've been trying to reduce our
Yeah, yeah,
population,
yeah,
you
for
know?
sure, for sure.
It's exactly this. The world government was formed, UN, it was after World War II, when it was 45, 47. I don't know when it got over, 50
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
This
Even
is when it started. These
even
ideas
like
started from then, and we're still
yeah.
following them.
Yeah, no, even like about the point about feeding everyone, for sure. Like I think
Yeah.
today there is least number of like hungry people that has ever been in the history of the world. But then I still would say we haven't done enough progress. I don't know because there still
I
are
think this, I
lots of
think both are true. In the sense, we have probably maybe the least number of hungry people. We also have the most number of hungry people. It's possible that both are true.
that is
I
also
wonder. I wonder.
that might be true.
But
That
I'm
might be
not
true.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Percentage
I
wise,
don't know
it's not. Yeah, actually, I
because
don't know. Yeah.
it feels like we are making progress, but still there is so many hungry people still it feels like. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And no, but generally, life. I think death rates have reduced. If I had to guess,
Yeah,
populations are
that
increasing, and
that is
health.
other factors as well, like technology and health for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But technology in facilitating food, like food is a primary source for health. I'm sure tech is
true,
like secondary there, for sure.
true.
But yeah, these are three things he think. But things he probably didn't foresee or consider being the primary issues would be like, I guess he didn't mention water, he didn't mention pollution. War is obviously there. Bio, he didn't mention in a pandemic or epidemic.
hmm
Some things probably he didn't see as being the primary concerns of a civilization. But yeah, can't blame him. I guess we have access to latest knowledge, so there are a lot of world issues I feel like he would have talked about and prioritized. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
still interesting,
Yep.
still relevant. It's a good summary of which direction, at least in terms as a world, we went.
Yeah,
It's
no
based on
doubt,
these ideas.
no
These
doubt. I
70
mean,
years.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and also the thing is, like, he might not have like mentioned like everything that he wanted to. These are the main things that came to his mind, probably. Like,
That's my point. Today, if you ask the main points, people would maybe economic inequality, but environment is going to be priority. Pandemic, undoubtedly, especially today, if not last year, at least today it's or not in 2019.
true,
Today, it's a priority for sure. Just in that sense.
true.
But war is not something we talk about. It's there, but we wouldn't talk about it that much because
That
it's
is
a lot
true.
more peaceful.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. No, but that way, I
Uh,
guess, like, yeah, I mean, like, that way we did make progress, I guess, like, as a,
Super.
yeah,
Like because these were the war just got over, right? And they were trying to sustainability. It's still not sure. We could still break down. The world order could just break down. We never know. UN, there are a lot of complaints.
yeah,
And population is something I'm not worried about. Like I told you, I have the other worry. I feel underpopulation is going to be a threat to us
true,
sooner or later.
true, true, true. I
But
think that is all. Everything is like lots of credit to technology only, I think. Like, lots of
for
credit.
sure.
Yeah, all
Credit
about,
and blame. But that's an interesting point he brought up. It's again obvious, but it's just the way he framed it. I liked it, where he said, if you're at war, then science, the development of science and technology is going to accelerate harm to society.
right,
I'm paraphrasing,
right,
but if you're at peace, then it's only going to be beneficial for society. And
right.
perhaps the evidence that one evidence to support that point is the fact that all our current technology, the best ones, are just helping people. They're not
Yeah,
no harm. So in that
mostly. Yeah,
sense,
yeah.
yeah, mostly. So in that sense, it's maybe evidence that we're largely at a peacetime than a
Mm-hmm.
wartime
Mm-hmm.
situation.
Yep. I agree. Damn cool video. That too for a 1952 video. It's too cool.
Bertrand Russell,
Yeah.
people love him, but. And it seemed, yeah, some interesting things. It seemed like he was, yeah, again, left in a sense. He didn't. He was anti-white in that sense. He's like, we shouldn't be too proud of ourselves. Not anti-white, but he was. I don't know. I got the vibe where he was saying we shouldn't think too much of ourselves. He clearly says it
Yeah.
in the sense that,
No, but
yeah,
at that
a
time there
few
was
times.
much more inequality, probably. No, that's why. I mean, like,
Right, between the East and the West, yeah, was. He,
yeah,
he anticipated that also. You can't, resistance to the growth of the East is futile. Again, paraphrasing, but he said it in those terms, and he's like, they're going to grow and they're going to become strong. Interesting point he makes about Russia being white, but still not whites in the general sense, not Western
oh,
whites.
I don't remember that.
Uh,
Okay.
oh, yeah, he was just talking about yellow and different colors, and he said, yeah, sure, although they're whites, but I'm paraphrasing. He's just saying, you could consider them something, but they're not exactly. It's not like the Western whites. Yeah, and yeah, yeah. Food. The focus on food. I think food is something we. I mean, long way to go. Like we started this discussion with, but
Mm-hmm.
I think yeah, we've done a lot. And technology. That's also it's a growing space. I think we'll solve food quite soon, and maybe within the before half the decade gets over.
Yeah, yeah, I
I don't
think
know.
so too, actually. Yeah, yeah.
But so yeah, we'll
But
see.
yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was a good video.
for more information on latest food developments, maybe you'll want to check out our agricultural
Agriculture.
video and some insights on
Absolutely.
a little plug there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right.
For sure.
All right.
All
Yeah.
right. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye bye.
See you guys.